All right, so blessings. So this is part three of Lion King's spiritual message, and this is essentially a part of a series that I'm doing regards to the spiritual message of Lion King. And those of you that would have tuned into the previous video, which essentially would have been part two, at the end of it, you'd understand that Simba has decided after his spiritual awakening and understanding who he was, with regards to the fact that he was Mufasa's son, that essentially gave him the motivation to claim his status as king and make it known throughout Pride Rock that he is in fact king and wants to represent his heritage and his lineage, essentially claiming what his father had sustained in the first place, all right, and fulfilling the promises that his father had given unto him. And if you want to look at the spiritual side of things, that's essentially the Most High letting the children of Israel know that if you're obedient, the promised land is yours and the fruits of the land is yours, and you'll do nothing but flourish as a nation of people, and you'll be thriving, you'll be flourishing, and essentially you'll inherit a land with milk and honey. And essentially that's the message that Mufasa had given unto his son Simba. All right, and once again, having received the spiritual awakening, which was heavily assisted by Rafiki, who acted as a divine prophet, right? Let Simba know that who he was with regards to his lineage, made him understand that he was Mufasa's son because he understood that Simba was Mufasa's son. And essentially, once again, that prompted Simba, slash gave Simba the motivation to go back and fight his uncle Scar for kingship status, all right? Because we understand that Scar had Scar was temporarily king of Pride Rock, but he inherited his status as king in an unrighteous manner. All right. So essentially, this is what leads to this part right here, part three, and it'll be Scar versus his uncle. So it'll be Simba versus his uncle Scar, and this essentially will determine who will be king of Pride Rock. And once again, from a spiritual lens, this is Jacob versus Esau, because as we know, in this current society, it's Esau that's ruling the world. He's ruling society, and Jacob is at the very bottom of the totem pole in society. All right, Esau at the top, Jacob at the bottom. Scar represents Esau, not just by how he looks, but with regards to his character and nature. Whereas if you look at it from a appearance perspective, the Bible describes Esau as red all over like an hairy garment, and that's exactly how Scar is, red all over like a hairy garment. Esau was someone that was very subtle and deceitful and wicked, and that's essentially the description and the character that Scar plays in the movie Lion King. All right, and essentially in this clip right here, you could say that Simba plays as both Jacob and Yahushai, because this video is going to signify the end of the world, and it's going to signify the end of Esau's rulership. All right, and in the movie, again, Scar plays as Esau, and this will signify Scar's end of rulership, and Simba essentially takes over, which is essentially a representation of righteousness. All right, because when you read the scriptures, when Jacob inherits his own land, essentially that's going to be a righteous ruler, and the scripture says, when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. All right, and essentially that's what we're going to see unfold in as the video progresses, or the parts of my series progresses. All right, so essentially this is once again letting you know how the world actually works, and understand that this is an important spiritual message, and it's important to understand and pay close attention as to what's really going on. Okay, so once again, it's Esau versus Jacob slash Esau versus Yahushai, because essentially when Yahushai comes back, Esau's rulership comes to an end, and it's going to be Yahushai and his elect versus Esau. All right, and Yahushai will use the elect as a vessel to completely diminish and obliterate Esau from his rulership, and in that way, the Most High Yahweh's promises will be fulfilled, because after Esau's rulership, it will be Jacob's rulership. Because when you read 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the one that followeth. All right, so without further ado, let's see how this unfolds.
Simba, please have mercy, I beg you.
So right off the bat, Scar's obviously pleading for Simba to provide the mercy, because now Scar's asking for Simba to provide the mercy, because now Scar understands that he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and all the wickedness that he's perpetuated has finally caught up with him, and he understands that his time is up, and he understands that his rulership is coming to an end.
You don't deserve to live. But, Simba, I am family. It's the hyenas who are the real enemy. It was therefore...
And now, out of desperation, Scar's trying to let Simba know, or insinuate to Simba, that we are family and that we are all one, and how now he's trying to shift the blame onto the hyenas. But Scar was the one that was wicked, and he's the one that essentially got Mufasa killed. Alright, so he's trying to negate himself off accountability and trying to blame anyone but himself. And that's essentially how Esau operates. It's everyone and anyone else's fault other than himself. Alright? So that just lets you know Esau's nature. And this essentially going to let you know what's going to unfold in the latter times to come. Alright? Esau's going to know that Esau knows his time is done. He knows his time is up. And essentially what he's going to do is try and play victim, and try and, out of desperation, apologize and make it seem like, you know what, everything happened and it wasn't really my fault. Things just happened to happen, because that's Esau's nature. Alright, he shifts the blame, he doesn't take any accountability. Ultimately, that's one of the top tier characteristics of the devil. Alright, they're hypocrites and they take no accountability.
It's their idea. Why should I believe you? Everything you ever told me was a lie. What are you going to do? You wouldn't kill your old uncle. No, Scar. I'm not like you. Oh, Simba, thank you. You are truly noble. I'll make it up to you, I promise. How can I prove myself to you? Tell me, anything. Run. Run away, Scar. And never return. Yes, of course. As you wish, Your Majesty.
And now what you're about to see is Scar knows that he's really and truly done for. Alright? Because what you're about to see unfold is that now these people that he was hanging around with, the people that he considered his friends, his companions, aka the hyenas, they're all gonna gang up on him and obviously take him down and essentially kill him. Alright? And really and truly what you can do is, actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it out first and I'm gonna give my analysis after.
Ah, my friends.
Now notice how he was so quick to put the blame on the hyenas and make it seem like everything was their fault. And now suddenly he's in a compromised situation, and now suddenly the hyenas are his friends. And essentially, really and truly, that's you gotta understand how people work. Many people are just very fake and snaky that way, whereas they'll call you their friends whenever it's convenient, and whenever it's also convenient, you are the enemy. All right, so understand and pay close attention as to what's taking precedence here.
Hands? I thought he said we were the enemy.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Ed? Let me explain. No.
So yeah, now suddenly he's got an explanation. Now suddenly he's scared, he's panicky, and is essentially desperate and looking for a way out. All right, and essentially this is what's going to happen to Esau when he's in a confounded situation, because you know, as the scripture says, the devil knows he's got nothing but a short time. Hence, wickedness, etc., is increasing, because what essentially he's trying to do is bring everyone down with him, because he knows he's done for. He knows he's on his last legs. All right, this kingdom is increasing in wickedness because, again, it's coming to an end. Everything is slowly but surely is all being decimated. All right, so there must be a falling away first before everything completely capitulates. All right, but going back to Scar, yes, now he's all desperate and essentially looking for a way out, and now there's no way out. All right, so on this now, suddenly it's convenient for him to like provide an explanation for everything as to why he said what he said and why things transpired in the manner that they've done so. All right.
Don't understand. No, I didn't mean. No.
And notice how all the hyenas are suddenly start to gang up on him also. And what you can do is, from a spiritual aspect, is Link will associate these hyenas as the other nations, all right, of people that were essentially hand in hand with Esau, all right, aka the heathens. They were hand in hand with Esau, help forward in the affliction of Jacob / the nation of Israel. And now suddenly they've understood that Esau is a top tier snake and a serpent, and that he's the true devil that the Bible speaks about. And Esau trying to throw the other nations under the bus. And now suddenly they've woken up and understood that he is the true devil. And now they are basically grouped up with themselves and devised a plan to help obliterate Esau's rulership / kingdom. All right. So that's what you can take from this scenery right here. Now, as you can see, Pride Rock is on fire. All right. And that signifies the end of Scar's rulership. And what you see here is only the tip of the iceberg as to what's going to happen in reality. All right. It's going to be fire, it's going to be chaos, and this is how Esau's kingdom is going to come to an end. All right. So these are the spiritual ramifications behind this clip right here. And once again, just showing that Lion King is perpetuating a very deep spiritual message. And it's important to understand and pay close attention as to what's going on. All right. And just based off this picture right here, when you read Revelation chapter 20, verse 10, and it says, "And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." All right. And just to make a complete distinction, there's no physical realm of hell. It's obviously just a condition. All right. Essentially insinuating the fact that the Most High's wrath is going to burn day and night forever and ever. That's what's going to happen onto the wicked. That's what's going to happen onto Esau. All right. So this picture right here fits directly with Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. Okay. Because that's essentially what's going to happen to the devil. That he's going to be tormented day and night forever and ever, meaning he's going to have to endure the Most High Yahweh's wrath day and night forever and ever. All right, non-stop. So that's the spiritual message behind this scenery right here. This is obviously part 3, and I'll see you for part 4. Peace and blessings.